Presentations this evening, we have two. We're going to present a proclamation celebrating St. Bruno Parish Church 100th anniversary. This will be presented to Tao Fu, I said that correctly hopefully, and Thelma as representatives of the Parish Council. And I'd like to read the proclamation, 100 years after all. St. Bruno Parish Church 100th anniversary. Whereas, on Friday, October 5th, 2012, the St. Bruno Parish Church will celebrate its 100th anniversary. And whereas during the past 100 years, the dedication, commitment, and loving guidance of church members has strengthened the family, nurtured our youth, and helped people in distress. And whereas through the years, the St. Bruno Parish Church has demonstrated in many ways acceptance of a role of responsibility. And whereas we gratefully acknowledge the influence for good accomplished by these, our neighbors, who have contributed so much to the community during these past 100 years. Now therefore, I, Jim Ruane, Mayor of the City of San Bruno, officially recognize the St. Bruno Parish Church, and on behalf of our citizens extend our congratulations on this most happy anniversary occasion and best wishes for another 100 successful years.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. My name is Tafui Piutao, and I'm the pastoral parish council of the parish of San Bruno. I'm very honored to receive this proclamation from the city of San Bruno. And I'm very grateful to receive this on behalf of our pastor, Father Michael Pilandez, and our associate pastor, Father Rafael Avila, and the people and community of San Bruno Parish. We would like to express our sincere gratitude to you, Mr. Mayor, and members of the council for this great gift to the parish of San Bruno. We thank you, and thank you very much.
On behalf of St. Bruno Church, we would like to invite everyone. Our events are on October 5. We have the awarding of the awards night, which will be celebrated at the South San Francisco Convention Center, which starts at 7 p.m. with a dinner. And then October 6 is actually the anniversary of the church. And we have a 5 o'clock Mass, which will be celebrated by the Archbishop Queen, followed by the coronation of Princess and Queen of the San Bruno Festival event. And then Sunday, we also have another event which starts at about 11 o'clock in the morning until probably 8 o'clock in the evening. So these are just get together with all the kids and parents and teachers of the CCD classes. So everyone is welcome. And again, on behalf of the St. Bruno Parish Church, we appreciate the proclamation that the City Council gave to us. Thank you.
Thank you and congratulations. We have another presentation by the San Bruno Park School District on the district's parcel tax measure on the November 2012 ballot.
Good evening. Thank you very much, City Council, for providing the opportunity to provide information about what the school district has been doing in terms of financing public education. What has happened is, in terms of history, the San Bruno Park School District was first established in 1907, February, as what had happened in San Francisco in the San Francisco earthquake. During this period of time, like public education throughout the various school districts throughout California, which is roughly over 1,000 school districts, have been basically dependent upon state funding to provide public education and access to all students and children within the school district. Because public education requires constant vigilance in terms of using monetary support from the state, the San Bruno Park School District has always been a good, clean health in terms of its fiscal management of its funds that's been entrusted. But what has happened is, it's depicted in this graph, that basically shows since 2007, the funding to public education in this state, like many other states in the United States, have basically become at issue in terms of balancing budgets. And you can see beginning in 2007 to now, this year, 2012, 2013, that you see the blue line above there represents what is COLA, the cost of living allowance, has not been granted, and then the loss of dollars. The amount of money that's been lost to public education in this state has been over $20 billion. And I'll translate that to the San Bruno Park School District in a moment. So this is what has been lost up to this point. Currently, as you know, there are two initiatives, Proposition 30 and Proposition 38 on this state ballot, which is a reflection of trying to provide a different funding or provide funding source to maintain public access to all children in California. If they do not pass the governor's initiative, the loss will be, which is spent on $5,245, which is less than the $6,748 that would have been given, that basically the mid-year cut, which we represent about $441 per student, and that translates to about $1.5 million cut during the budget that's already been passed, that's being worked on for next year, but has been passed for this year. And so what we have to look at is basically it translates the loss of $4 to $5 million to our school district. And so what has the district been doing for the last 5 years? Elimination of class size reduction program. The state was giving a little over $1 million to school districts like ourselves, so it's gone from 20 to 31 students in each class. The elimination of music programs as well as gifted and talented education programs. There's been no instructional material adoption since 2007. What that means is not able to get new textbooks that reflect what is coming down the educational pike, and that is what is called common standards, which is using a lot of technology in the educational process K through 12, which becomes obviously, in order to provide the 21st century student, it requires money. The reduction of book titles in the libraries at each of the individual elementary schools as well as Parkside Middle School. What else has been done is cutting back on the personal staff developmental days, which is basically they usually have 4 days, now it's down to 0 because of funding loss from the state. There's been no increase in salaries since 2007, to whether it's teachers, staff, or administration that make up the school district that's required to run public education in an effective way. What has happened now with Crestmore and Rollingwood is joint principals, because they not be able to afford a principal at every school. And last but not least, cutting on the administration, that includes at the district office the loss of 2 assistant superintendents to try to deal with this each year deficit loss from state funding. So what have we been doing on the revenue side to try to generate? Education is one of these enterprises that does not generate income like a private corporation where you can sell a product. Our product is priceless because we're dealing about the future of the public education and to the students that will now become leaders in our community as adults, and to provide them all the opportunities possible. So on the revenue side, it's limited. What we have done, we've taken money from the Carl Sandburg and installed solar panels on every building to basically offset the increasing electrical price or cost. And essentially, that for the school district, it's about $250,000 that is required to pay for electrical bills each year. And we know that our electrical PG&E bills are going up each year. And so trying to think ahead and to save more dollars and use it effectively. Another thing is we have rented, as you know, to VB Golf and getting rental income at the old Ingville site. And last but not least, one of the things that's in basically that all school districts have to deal with is liabilities. And one of it is retirement for medical benefits. For example, the largest school district in the country is LA. Their school budget is $6 billion compared to ours, which is roughly $21 million. They have a liability of $9 billion. Our liability is roughly $5.3 million. And we've put aside monies that would provide to reduce that liability in order to free up money to provide support to the educational enterprise of the San Bruno Park School District. Mr. Martinez is going to continue with the presentation.
Thank you. So what we wanted to take you through now is actually now the San Bruno Park School District Educational Parcel Tax.
Excuse me, Kevin, pull the mic a little closer.
Oh, sorry, thank you.
There you go.
Thanks. The intent of the parcel tax measure itself. These were the core principles in the ballot measure itself. First and foremost, is to provide a local funding source that the state cannot take away. Local funding, of course, is so much of the upset now has to do with state funding and what we may or may not receive, even if the measures pass, what that does to the long-term for education. In this sense, the local funding is guaranteed to stay here within San Bruno. Well, secondarily, to reduce the impact of state funding cuts to San Bruno Park schools. At this point, it's already been $4 to $5 million. Of course, with the governor's proposition, perhaps the fate of that not known, those kinds of cuts, as we've shown there, is that protection is what we're after. Sustaining our high-quality neighborhood schools. The neighborhood schools of San Bruno really do identify with each neighborhood. You can kind of look through each, and as you go through, to see whether in the Crestmore neighborhood, Portola, and so forth, Allen, Bel Air, that the high-quality neighborhood schools have been a priority in San Bruno, and so supporting that structure of neighborhood schools is provided for as well. Reducing combination classes at almost all of the schools. Really, their student body is taken, they divide out the number of students in each class by 31 and just place teachers as they may be. So that in some schools there'll be a K1 and a 1-2 and a 2-3 class, a 3-4 class, and so forth. Those combination classes, and the teachers do yeoman work in providing for the needs for each student, but still that structure, sometimes the placement of even just one additional teacher can level out the staffing throughout a school site. Attracting and retaining highly qualified teachers. Of course, the primary interaction that matters most is that between the teacher and child. And teachers of San Bruno are fantastic. This is not, though, to be considered just a training site for teachers as well. We really do have a committed core set of teachers, and retaining that quality relationship here within San Bruno is the goal of the measure as well. Reducing the cost of special education. Special education is, we provide high quality program to all students, but it is not fully funded at any level, both from the federal government who mandates it and the state. Significant resources go to filling that shortfall every year. We think that we can also do things structurally with special education, to do things like set up consortia between school districts with some investment of funds that could make special education itself a more efficient program to still provide a high quality program. And lastly, funding curriculum reform. As Dr. Sanchez mentioned, the Common Core standards coming. The state has not provided any funding for curriculum in particular. So we're looking to fund curriculum modernization with to the modern Common Core standards with the measure as well. Some of the guidelines and just structure for the parcel tax would be providing for a citizens oversight committee. That's not required, but we did added into to ensure that we stay within the boundaries and have citizens other than the school board look to see that we're within the funding parameters that we outlined in the measure. We will generate annual expense reports, and these will be audited as well internally, and our external annual audit will look to the parcel tax expenditures as well. There is no money provided for administrator salaries. And we did provide for an exemption. Seniors can apply for an exemption annually through the district office to pay their annual parcel tax, and also to qualifying very low income households, which is kind of a technical term. You know, there's a formula to set up that income level that provides for a basis for exception and coming out through the school district as well. The length of the parcel tax, we're looking at a 5-year term for this. One of the things that doing it within this term too is the fact that the presidential election is the time when most people do vote. It gives you the best chance to really see, to go out to the community, the full community, and see. We thought too that a 5-year term gives us both that opportunity to come back to the community and perhaps just evaluate within the time, but look at 4 years and see what is the situation at that time, and gives us also the planning time to see. Even if this measure succeeds, as you know, the property taxes do lag. You know, property tax collections lag. It doesn't come, you know, in November. It actually would follow from the property taxes that would collect in the next year's roll, so that it kind of lags that by that year. We wouldn't see anything then until probably December of next year if it should pass. So this gives us that. And the amount that we're asking is $199 per parcel. That equates to about $2 million in City of San Bruno's size and the size of the school district. So, and just to put that in those terms, it does equate to $16.58 per month. One of the things to note, the November initiatives really are, it's a complicated matter in that sense, that there's a lot that we would want to do, but those November initiatives really, the solvency is king, you know, and in this sense, if they should fail, the hit to the school district could be in the area of $1.5 million. Already, that kind of benches us to that set of $2 million on the expected side. You know, would be that level of savings given this year's budget, that amount looking forward to say, you know, what protection do we need, but also the other things that we want to accomplish that we think are worthwhile within the community. If Measure G also fails, the prospects for the school district are in fact grim. We're looking to, the governor's allowed for more days now perhaps, and now we're looking to possibly 20 school days or 4 weeks from the 2012-2013 school year. The impact of that would be huge throughout the community. 20 days less of school, you know, which would have caused students to be considered truant, you know, before, now would be all of a sudden just labeled acceptable. But also in the sense of childcare need to be provided. We were actually estimating, I think, that the cut the cut would actually almost be doubled, the $1.5 million to the school district, but also what people will spend trying to provide childcare for in that situation where that much school is not provided, you know, can amplify that much. Also, we would look to the possibility of perhaps closing one or more neighborhood elementary schools in 2013-14. It's consequential. So the goals of Measure G, simply to maintain great neighborhood schools in San Bruno. Also provide excellent public education for the children of San Bruno. I think we have to realize that we do have excellent schools in San Bruno. We do stack up the programs at each individual school, and I know that, you know, so many of you have been involved many times in the school sites and see firsthand the quality that's provided there. And I think it's something to preserve, you know, and protect. And so that's really our aim here. I guess we'd ask if you have any questions.
Any questions of Mr. Martinez or Dr. Sanchez? Irene?
Hi, thank you for the presentation. You said each parcel would be approximately $199. How
Yes.
is that determined? And is it each parcel?
It's
or
just
is
the
it-
parcel right on, yeah, from the county tax rolls. Yeah, it would be an indication to them that the parcel,
So it doesn't, it's not value of the house, it's not any of
Not
those
at
things?
all,
It's just
no.
plain old, okay.
And in fact, it is one of those things, parcel taxes themselves really can't, or money of this type that can be used for these kinds of purposes that are not related to building and so forth. This is the only opportunity that we have, would be a parcel tax done that way. Whereas a bond, the only way that you can do it would be based on the value of a house, but that has different uses. For this kind of use, it would be just one per parcel.
Okay. And, oh, thank you.
For one
And
person.
do you need a 50% plus vote on this, or two-thirds?
We do. We need a 2/3 vote, yes, we need a 2/3 vote in San Bruno.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Mr. Riegel, did you have a question or comment?
I'd just like to say, when I was on the grand jury, we looked at the use of the Citizens Oversight Committee relative to bonds, and we heard a lot of the participants say that they felt that it was a rubber stamp. So I would hope that in their presentation as they go forward, and if it passes, that they utilize the Citizens Oversight in the process, not rubber stamping after the fact, because that was a real big concern that we heard. Thank you.
Thank you. Dan?
Thank you. Gentlemen, would you explain, past elections, we voted on bond measures, and that has been for buildings, for improvements. This is, and please state, I mean, this is the first measure that actually puts money into the classrooms.
Right. One of the things that the San Bruno Park School District Governing Board has made a priority is to protect the classroom. And in doing so, making all these cuts that you've seen in this span of 5 years with the budget shortfall from the state. So this is the first educational parcel tax in the history of San Bruno Park School District since February of 1907. And this becomes critical to maintain that quality and to provide the environment in which differentiated instruction that all children of all different educational levels and backgrounds and English language learners, as well as socioeconomically disadvantaged students, because in this district, over 50% of the students that attend the San Bruno Park School Districts are in that situation. So it becomes critical to provide opportunity. That's what public education is all about. And this will provide that opportunity to make sure that no matter what socioeconomic group, what country you come from, what part of the city you come from, that you will get a 21st century education and become very productive in their own lives and be productive citizens, and maybe be on the city council somewhere, or a governing board, or president of the United States, or a doctor, or a scientist or engineer. This is what we're obligated to provide to all children of San Bruno.
All right, thank you very much for your presentation and your hard work on behalf of all of our students.
Thank you very much for the
Thank you.
opportunity.